Hello, welcome. I'm Donald McGarva, Chief Executive of the Amino Group, and I'd like just to take you through a small précis of our end-of-year, year-end presentation when we presented the full-year results. I think, first of all, the thing I'd like to point out to everyone listening is that we have very much repositioned Amino in a new area. Amino is now a media technology business. Not only addressing traditional pay TV operators as we have done in the past, but also broadcasters and content operators. And I think it's also important to note that if you look at the world of TV and media, the overall market for pay TV is actually increasing quite significantly, both in terms of the amount of money spent, but also in terms of the hours and minutes that people are viewing content. However, the shift is very much moving from traditional pay TV more to the online OTT services. And that's exactly where we focus the products and the services and solutions of the Amino Group, is to address that convergence of pay TV and OTT and that overall market increase. We also believe that disruption plays positively into our business. We believe that those customers that will be most successful are the ones that are very much consumer focused, using data to analyze and to adjust, and who are also very flexible to change. And we've really seen that in a dramatic way over the last few weeks with the sort of lockdowns we've seen and people's move to watch more media and content. We've seen massive increases from traditional broadcasters in terms of hours watched. We've also seen OTT services numbers go through the roof, and we've seen where those two come together, and actually that people watching traditional and new services on a whole range of new devices as well. We also have a saying inside. We talk about content as king, but in the Amino Group we believe user experience is queen. And how you discover, access, view, and interact with the content is almost as important as the content itself, now that everybody wants whatever they want, when they want it, and where they want it. And we continue to invest in innovating and giving better video experience, however consumers want to get that addressed. If I move on to the next slide, the highlights were actually our profit and our revenue were ahead of expectations, and we had a good financial performance. We repositioned the business very much as a high-growth software business. So in 2020, you'll see this year, we believe that our revenues, almost a third, 30% will come from software and services. And that comes about because of two things. One, the focus and the transformation program we put in place early in 2019, but also the acquisition that we completed in July of 2019 of 24i, which gave us this entry into the online video services and the sort of broadcaster and content owner world that I talked about earlier. We also, when you do acquisitions, people talk about revenue synergies. I'm pleased to say that we've actually demonstrated that we can deliver one of those already. One of our customers, a Dutch MVNO, in Uphone. We won that jointly. 24i were engaged there, and Amino and 24i, we put the solution together. We could give it an end-to-end solution, providing that whole PTV service for them. And we've done that and gone live just recently. If you look at the business, gross margins increased year over year, and that was predominantly the shift to more software and services, which is much higher margin, but also the focus that we put in the business. As part of the transformation program, we said that we no longer focus on the sort of lower margin, higher revenue hardware business, and we'd focus on growing the software and services and the value-added hardware that is valued by our customers, and we've seen the margins adjust as a result. Cash performance was strong. Business being very cash generative overall, and as I said, we successfully that transformation program and took over $5 million of savings We did that in early 2019, completed by March 2019. If we move on to the next slide that talks about the transformation of the software revenues, we have kept the 24i brand, and within that we have now a software and services business that's growing at 20 to 25% per annum organically. It gave us access onto the online video market. We also integrated our Amino TV solution into that. We renamed it Smart Video, and that gave us the ability that we could deliver that end-to-end service. And I think what's really important to note is that a lot of people, when they're designing, enhancing, and improving these services, they start by that user experience. How does it look and how does it feel? And that gives us the ability to then introduce other elements of our offering to those customers as they require it. The Amino business, traditionally focused on the IPTV side of the business, it continues to perform very strongly. It does support the ongoing shift to software and services, as we're now licensing our software on other people's devices and selling that on a standalone basis, as we've done at PCCW, Hong Kong Telecom. In addition, offering some management software that allows customers to remotely manage, analyze, and update these products in the field, and we deliver that in a SaaS-based cloud service. And as I said, transformation program completed last week to focus on that value-added hardware that some of our core customers love. Moving on to the next slide, 24i, the momentum there has been maintained. We have had a number of announcements in the period. What 24i does, as I said, we now have that end-to-end platform that focused on user experience, delivering applications and the management services behind that to give the look and feel that a customer wants on any device. Customers include people like PureFlix. PureFlix is like a Netflix for Christians, a very rich set of content that we help them bring to market on any device, from smart TVs and mobiles through to PCs and all of these other devices that people want access those on. We've seen one of the major successes as we've gone through coronavirus was Broadway HD. Broadway HD delivers West End and Broadway shows, again in a Netflix type of service to any device. And they've seen a massive growth in their subscribers, as of course the Broadway shows actually all got closed off, and this became a really good point for people who like that kind of entertainment to go to, and it's been a very successful service and valued by its customers, and will continue to be valued by its customers. We had a number of notable announcements recently within the Deutsche Telekom group. We announced Slovak Telecom. That was delivered on our next generation technology. We also had Topic, which was launched just a few weeks ago. And we've also had successful launches with and extensions with people like NPO, the Dutch national broadcaster, where we deliver their service a bit like the UK, but almost like an iPlayer type service, but, delivering that online on any device. And people like KPN, where we deliver their service on smart TVs. If we can take you on to the next slide. Our strategic priorities, there are three. First of all, and most importantly, is to continue to expand the addressable market, either organically, as we are growing organically, but also through potentially some mergers and acquisitions, if and when these become available at the right time and under the right terms. We aim to continue to grow our margins by focusing on the software and services solutions, as well as focusing on the value-added hardware that our customers value from us. And again, continuing to maintain those strong levels of operating cash generation that we've seen that helps us to invest and to grow the business and move us forward. And so finally, we see, why would this be a good investment case, Amino? We think we have a very clear strategic focus. We focus on markets where we see growth and opportunity. in TV everywhere, on Android TV and upcycling. We think the market is ripe for consolidation, and we think the offerings we have are very attractive to traditional pay TV and OTT streamers, content providers and broadcasters, allowing them to provide a much richer experience to meet the needs of the modern consumer. Our quality of earnings is improving as we transition to software and services and more recurring revenues, which continue to grow. And we think we're a very resilient business model with good cash generation and margins that will help sustain us going forward. So that, in a nutshell, is it. And thank you very much for listening.